3 to tie, 4 to pass. Stephen A. Is Tiger going to catch Jack?
I think, listen, I'm willing to go as far as to say that because I didn't believe he'd get one. But I also said if he got one, I think he could get the 4. It's overcoming that initial hump. That's the key in all of this. You're almost playing with house money at this particular moment in time. You got to remember, because Tiger Woods hasn't won all of this time, what have we been talking about? We haven't been talking about just the injuries. We talked about what preceded those injuries. We talked about 2007. We talked about what happened with him and his family. We talked about how the mojo was gone because you were so fixated on making sure people were more receptive to you, that they had forgiven you, that somehow, some way you owed the world an apology, not just your family, your ex-wife, your children, etc. You owed the world an apology. The fact that you had to deal, even though that wasn't the case in recent memory, for those first few years, it was undeniable. He had to deal with all of that. Excuse me, that's bypassed now. The injuries appear to be a non-existent right now. If you don't have those injuries and you don't have the backdrop of that nonsense taking place in your life to the point where everywhere you go, people are looking at you with raised eyebrow or with disgust and beyond. The golf community, remember how they treated him. Remember how they talked about him at times. Remember how often he apologized to those folks because of how he represented the sport and how much he had sullied the sport in his eyes. I'm saying when you have those demons working against you and you're dealing with all of that, the biggest challenge in the world is overcoming it the first time. Once you do that, now we get back to just golf. And to me, that's why I thought it would be, and I'm of the mindset, it would be toughest for him to capture another major than it would be for him to capture 4. The fact that I didn't think he would do yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I'm having trouble keeping up with the swings.
What are you talking about?
Can't win 1. Now he's going to win 4.
That's what I'm saying.
I got you.
Because he demonstrated to you that he can do it over 4 days.
It's about that. It was about that getting over the hump.
Look,
that to me
what is impressive to me about what Tiger just did is the irony of his career is that he became this icon that, like a lot of fathers and mothers with athletic children started putting golf clubs in their hands. For the first time, athletes who may have done other things could actually compete in real sports started playing golf. So he came into an era as an older injured player with much better players than the era he started in. And we saw guys like, you mentioned Spieth, and you mentioned Dustin Johnson and McIlroy and all these guys, Jason Day, one after another, these like young phenoms. Maybe he's the next Tiger Woods. He's now in a field of Tiger Woodses, always of the next Tiger Woodses, and he beat him. Now, I don't think he is, if he is the best golfer in the world, it's probably not by much. It's real because he's older and they're better. But the fact that he won 1, that's what really impresses me. So the question now is, can he win 3 more? Just to catch Nicklaus. I don't know about pass, it's 4 more. Can he win 3 more? I think, as I mentioned, Tom Watson, who is not Tiger Woods. You know, Tiger Woods has more talent than, he's in a group with who? Ben Hogan and Jack Nicklaus, right? There's the only guys you can really talk about in the upper, and maybe he's number 1 in terms of that stuff, talent, and maybe in his career, overall greatness. If Tom Watson could do it at 59, almost win the British Open, that means Tiger Woods may have another decade where even if he's not the best, he's good enough that on a good couple days he can compete. I'm saying, especially if what you guys are saying is true, that in this field, they're intimidated by his presence, then yeah, I'm going to say he's going to win 3 more majors before he's done.
I disagree with both of you. And I don't like the swings I have to keep up with. I can't believe I have to come out here and argue against you or against Michael Collins, which I did on Friday filling in for you guys, that he'd win another major. Everybody told me he'll never do it again. I said, yes, he will. But now I do not think he will win 3 to catch Jack Nicklaus. And you're in the video. You know that, you're right. You're in the video. Tiger sitting there watching his doubters talking about, he's done, you're washed, he's a former golfer, he'll never do it again, this and that. He's watching, and he's watching you, Stephen A. He's watching you, tell him he can't.
Well,
and he just sits up.
Usually are watching me, but go ahead. Go ahead.
And now you're out here saying he's going to win 3, he's going to catch Jack Nicklaus. I get it. I understand your argument.
Okay.
Basically, you've made the icebreaker argument. He won the first. That was the hardest. Now he's back. Now we're rolling. Now we're off and running and chasing Jack. And here's my argument why that's not true. I don't think we're necessarily looking at the Tiger of old. Even though we just had this argument about intimidation and that you can be intimidated, I certainly believe that, and Tiger can intimidate people, I don't think it's going to happen to this field. I don't think it's going to happen to Brooks Koepka. I don't think it's going to happen to Dustin Johnson and Justin Thomas. This field, as you point out, Max, is stacked. And I thought Tiger would win because he's in the field. But because the field exists, I can't give him 3 more. In the old days, he dominated. He lapped the field.
A lot of time, Will.
He ran out ahead of everybody. Now, he's got to beat these guys. And let me tell you something. Brooks Koepka, he's not going to wilt from any pressure. He's going to be there, tournament in, tournament out.
You don't think he can win 3 more and let's say 28 more tries? Let's say he plays till he's 50.
I'm going to give you 1 more.
28 more tries, he can't win 3 more?
I'll tell you this, Max. I think he's going to win another one this year. I think he'll either win at Bethpage or Pebble. But I can't line him up for him to win in his 40s, which would be rare. It's been done where you win multiple in your 40s, which would be rare again. Modern medicine, granted. Tiger shape, granted. Technology, granted. I can't give him 3 in his 40s.
See, here's the problem with your argument. Number one, you're acting like Tiger has to be elite in order to win. See, in the sport of golf, as you well know, some other people can fold. That's what happened yesterday.
Time out to your timeout. I'm not saying he has to be elite to win. I'm saying he has to be elite to win multiple. Because we're talking about 3 here.
But here's the problem with your argument. You act like this is basketball or football where you have a regular season and then the playoffs and then at the end of the year a champion is crowned. No, excuse me. You have multiple majors each year. And so when I'm looking at it, I'm saying that you got numerous chances at the apple. Tiger Woods ain't going anywhere anytime soon. I think it's safe to say we can expect him to compete in at least 12 more majors in his career because he's going to be golfing for at least the next 3 years or so. I think we can expect to see that. And I think when you look at it from that perspective, I'm saying, excuse me, who out there can you definitively say is going to get it done? Remember when he won in 1997, he won by 12 strokes. Remember that he was like 18 under, if I remember correctly. Remember that Jordan Spieth didn't do it. He was the only person to match that since which was about in 2015. The point is, we're not looking at guys consistently and saying, you know what? They're going to be in his way.